Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere outside of Cleveland, Ohio. Won't tell you where. My name's BrianEngelman. Today is Tuesday, November 18th, 2025. And this right here, the thing that you have found is called the Unhappy Hour Sports Show, brought to you on the new American media, because the old American media has failed you. Please make sure you're subscribed to our podcast, the Unhappy Hour Sports Show. Sign up for our YouTube channel and link up with us on X at the Unhappy Hour _, as well as all of the new American media sites as well. Today, we are going to be discussing Shadeur Sanders starting for the Browns in Las Vegas? ? All signs point to yes. We're going to discuss the Buckeyes' dominance and, some Cavs. Little bit of Guardians action. Jose getting some love, our manager getting some love. All these topics and more on today's episode. So here we go.
Hi, this is Eric Metcalf, and you're watching Unhappy Hour.
Joining us on today's special episode, Mr. Zak Baris with the neck roll. I do that move a lot. I go see a chiropractor.
In the morning.
It's not. Do you ever go see a chiropractor?
I go once a week.
Once a week, yeah. Do you ever do the MTA, the manual traction adjustment?
Is that where they pull your neck?
Yes.
Yeah, I do it every week.
Oh,
it's the best part. It feels like you're like your head is leaving your spine.
Yes, and it opened up something in here that was compressed for about 15, 20.
Yep, I also like I grew an inch or two. So
yeah, that too. That too. Now the one thing though, I watch the Ring Dinger channel on YouTube. They say it goes all the way down to the tailbone. Mine kind of only goes down to the
mine goes right to the middle of the back or just like upper shoulders. But I could just tell, like, you look at old pictures and I'm like, my posture is so much better.
Oh yeah. Well, even just going in there, and they remind you constantly to pull your head back. Like even just because we're all slunched over.
Yeah, I know. I have a bulging disc that's pressing on a pinched nerve, which just makes it like, this is why I go every week, because if I don't go, it just hurts. And I'm, the last thing I want to do is get back surgery. So I'm very careful with what I tell them to do there. But, that is the one thing I love is when they just go under the chin, pull it up.
Yeah, the Ring Dinger, there's like these, I don't know if you've ever seen these videos, but it's like, open pins, and you push down this pin, and it's a big puffy thing, and it locks your hip in, and you really lock in the other hip, and it just locks the hips. So when they do the stretch, it does accordion stretch all the way down, allegedly. Yeah. The Ring Dinger in Houston. But yeah, look, you're wearing, what is that, a Porsche hat? Is that a Porsche?
Yeah.
Look, you're gonna go and send you're gonna get oil changes, you're gonna get tire rotations. That's just regular maintenance. So Why wouldn't we do regular maintenance on our bodies, right?
Exactly.
So, well, thanks for joining us today. Always a good time. I think last time we had you in, we were in with, I think it was John Telich. We were talking about the news of the stadium.
It had to be a while ago. Yeah, it was. Probably over a year ago.
I want to start with Shadeur Sanders, of course, but we can work our way over to Shedeur because since our last conversation was about the stadium, we have some news. What do you make of what was rolled out in the past few weeks? It's starting to kind of get leaked / released. Here are the prices. Some people are getting sticker shock. Some people are, still not getting over the fact that it's going to be moving out of downtown. So I guess maybe a little check in on your thoughts on the stadium.
Yeah, let me dive into the stadium. I'm very familiar with the project. I have a great relationship with the Cleveland Browns. So they're moving to Brook Park. We all know that. We're moving about 9 miles southwest of downtown, which, I got to tell you right now, if the stadium was actually in downtown Cleveland, which a lot of people believe it is, it's on an isolated area on the lakefront. We don't have a land bridge. You got to walk around to East 9th or West 3rd. It's a pain in the ass. Excuse my language. But it is a total pain in the ass to get down there. It takes 30. I live downtown. Okay. I live a mile exactly from the stadium. It takes me 30 minutes to get down to the stadium. I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate everything about it. I thought it was the second worst stadium in the NFL going in this week. It is not the third worst. It's not the second worst. I was at MetLife last week That is the worst stadium I've ever been to in my life. You want to talk about an area where the tailgating sucked, the Jets suck. The stadium felt like a $1.9 billion high school stadium.
Ugh.
I was shocked. I was
back by the way, I was back at my high school football stadium, man. I haven't been there for a while. We're actually working with athlete outreach, so I've been having a chance to like connect with the team and speak to the team and bringing in some like chaplain action. But like they built a whole different side of the stadium, new scoreboards at Brunswick Stadium. They're actually hosting a playoff football game this week, which is cool.
That's crazy.
But anyway, you're saying about a glorified high school stadium. I was just thinking about it.
Yeah, the stadiums that I think are worse than the Browns currently are Jacksonville, Tennessee. But Jacksonville has a new stadium coming. They're going to be moving to Orlando for 2 years, or partially London, doing whatever they're doing. So they're going to be doming, their current stadium.
But I thought Jacksonville was a decent. It has a whole complex built around it. I've never been.
Trust me, it'll be better when it's done. Okay. The old Gator Bowl. And then you've got Tennessee's building a new stadium they're moving into in 2027. The Bills currently worse than Brown Stadium. They're moving to a new stadium next year. The only other stadium I would say is worse was MetLife, was terrible. Kansas City, I don't like. It's in the middle of nowhere. The tailgating was awesome. But tailgating was awesome. Tailgating, like the stadium offered up nothing to me. I just like it was big,
it was maybe the loudest stadium.
Loud, but it wasn't nice. It was no frills. And Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, which has gotten a lot of upgrades, still to me it wasn't. It was okay. Parking.
Now, before you continue though, did you ever go to San Diego?
Yes.
I was at home of the world's smallest jumbotron.
I was at the 06 Browns Chargers game where LaDainian Tomlinson ran for about 150 yards in the fourth quarter. Charlie Fry was the quarterback. That was about 19 years ago to the week. First week in November 2006. Brian, you were probably there, but the tailgating experience was awesome. You could take the train ride in. The stadium itself was a dump.
I knew they were moving.
And in the lower deck, you had to stand up to see because the stadium was built for baseball.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was bad.
But MetLife was terrible. You were just there.
MetLife, there was no character, very vanilla. It had nothing. It was a pleasure to go back to Brown Stadium this past week.
But compare that then to London. You had a London experience.
It's not even close. I've been to the majority of NFL stadiums. Tottenham was the nicest stadium I've ever been to, but it had its flaws. Mm-hmm. The traffic in London's horrendous, number one. Around the stadium in Tottenham was utter trash. The area surrounding it was not nice. Not great tailgating. However, when you walk into that stadium in London, you feel like you're in a 5-star hotel.
Oh, yeah.
And the experience, but here's the issue, and a lot of these new stadiums have this. If you walk in from, let's say, the west entrance, west side, you can't get over to the east side of the stadium.
It's like partitioned off?
Yes. You cannot get over.
Garbage. I went to Dodger game, and we had
tickets. Stadiums like that, too.
And it's like, if you're in the bleachers,
you're stuck in the bleachers.
Like I feel like a zoo animal over there.
You can't go walk the concourse. It sucks.
What is that?
What I love about Progressive Field, and I'll tell you this right now, you can walk the whole stadium.
Yeah, you should. Why do they do that? Just for control?
I don't know why. Like, I got to tell you, like, I was utterly disappointed in Las Vegas. Like, I think the stadium, the clubs are nice. I've been there for the Super Bowl. I've been there for a regular season game last year against the Browns. I will not be going back next week because I don't need to watch 2-8 football teams play each other. I'd rather put a gun to my head than watch those two play next week. In person at least. I'll be watching.
We got to see who's going to lose for draft position, right? Yeah. Even when you win a game.
Browns will lose next week. Like I said, going to the Jets game, I knew we were going to lose that one. So I know they're going to lose.
You knew they were going to lose the Jets.
Yeah, I knew we were going to lose the Jets. I said it, they're going to lose. You know how Bubba Ventrone still has a job behind me. But getting back to the stadium. The new stadium, what's going to be really cool is the stadium's going to have roughly 26 new clubs in it. It is going to be super nice. That indoor experience, wide concourses, and the tailgating should be good. The surrounding area that they're doing with Lincoln Properties Group is going to be absolutely stunning. There's going to be a hotel, apartments, a lot of bars. It's not disconnected, and you're going to have a rapid station that flows right into it. Across the street, they're doing a $3 billion addition to the airport to Hopkins.
Okay, hold on. Before the $3 billion addition to Hopkins, and jump right back to that. So the train station, it's going to be the RTA, and it's just going to have a hub, and it's going to take you. You're going to open the doors, and you're going to be at the complex.
You'll be at the complex, right
That's
outdoors.
Every city should set these up. Figure out a way to configure.
Well, here's the thing. Right now, I met with Commissioner Goodell when I was in London for the game, and we had a meeting at the Grove where the Browns were staying with the Haslams, and a little Q&A with about 30 people there. And I asked Roger specifically when we were not on mic, said, any chance the Browns will host a Super Bowl? He goes, currently, no. He goes, college football playoff? Yes. He goes, you guys have the ability to host a college football playoff, host major events. He goes, for the Super Bowl, Cleveland still needs a couple thousand more hotel rooms to accommodate, which is true. Like Buffalo will never get.
We don't even qualify because we haven't been like Indianapolis. We haven't set up a convention center of import.
Well, here's
what's
beneficial to Cleveland. With the IX Center closing, that means where are those events going to go? Those will shift back to downtown. I would take a downtown convention center over a downtown stadium like that any day. That's used 10 times a year. Because a convention center, when you're hosting, look at Indianapolis. Go look at all the hotel rooms. They're full every day of the week. They're empty on weekends, but they're full on every day of the week. You got your JW Marriott, your Conrad Hotel, Hilton brand. You've got everything down there. And they're full all the time. Indianapolis can accommodate all the hotel rooms that Cleveland can't right now because they have the conventions. Ideally, what's going to happen, and Hilton, it's not announced, but I know what's going on. When the Justice Center moves, whether that's to the pit, they build a new one, or whether they move to the Centennial Project that's currently in foreclosure, which is in East 9th and Euclid, the Justice Center will move off that site. Hilton wants to put an 800-room hotel there. Ideally, the land bridge will go down to the lakefront. You tear down the stadium, plop up a new convention hall with another hotel down there on the lakefront, and suddenly you have a viable lakefront that's carrying from downtown over to the lakefront. So you get more hotel rooms. And then Bedrock's doing a $3.5 billion deal. It'll stretch out to $4 billion when it's all said and done. On the riverfront right now, Brian, if you look up Bedrock Riverfront Cleveland, it'll show up. And you have that there. And what do you have right in there? In Tower City. And they're going to totally revamp Tower City too. Well, inside, you will have the Rapid Station taking you directly to Brook Park. So you can still tailgate downtown. You can stay downtown, have a safe transportation method to get to the new stadium, which is about a 20-minute ride. You can go drink, like I was there in Houston, and I got to tell you, Houston was super convenient. It was free on game day. I stayed in downtown, took this to the stadium where the Astrodome and where Houston's current stadium is totally isolated, but it's a 3-mile trip from downtown. You can drink on the ride down there. It was free. It was so convenient. You don't have to take an Uber, anything. But this is the riverfront. So this is what they're doing down here right now. So you see all the high rises they're planning right now, and they're working on right now, and all the infrastructure. They've spent hundreds of millions of dollars alone on the infrastructure here.
Because we've been for years, for decades, it's been, what are they going to do with the lakefront? What are they going to do with the lakefront? What's going on at the lakefront? Is this going to finally make sense?
They've already broken ground on this. The Cavs training facility is going up right now, over $200 million spent. This kayaking area, which you're looking at right now, is already going in. I'll be taking a tour of this on December 1st. So I'll have an updated, Brian, I'll send you updated pictures so you can post them. But I'm touring the Cavs facility on December 1st with their architecture firm, with Populous. But this is the Riverfront Reimagined. In Bedrock, this was originally a 30-year plan that they've now shrunk down to 10 years.
Oh, okay.
So you can see the glass building where it says Cleveland Clinic right there. That is the Cavs facility currently going up right now.
And so the benefit to having we all know Berea has the Browns over there. What is the benefit of an additional training facility? It's just so you can use the concert venue for other things. You can.
So yeah, but also the Cavs current training facility, which is one of the top 5 in the NBA, will be for the new WNBA team come 2028. So when they move out of there, that will shift in. The WNBA team will slide in there, and the Cavs will be moving over here.
So the WNBA team will not be playing in Gund Arena / Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse / Rocket Mortgage.
No, they will be playing there. The practice facility, though.
Oh, okay. They'll take the old Cavs practice facility.
Yes, which is still a top 5 facility in the NBA.
And now, what is the thing you were at? I saw you were posting from, what was that, the Canton Charge? Is that
Cleveland Charge? That was from that they play at the old Public Hall Civic Auditorium. So that is where
I've never been to the Public Hall Civic
was hosted. That is the old convention center, the old Public Hall Auditorium.
I've never been there.
It's Really cool venue, probably the coolest venue in all of sports. Like if
Whoa.
you're going, it's got like that Wrigley Field, Fenway feel.
Okay.
And what's cool is the decks, like the floor seats are right there on the floor, but the first deck is located on top, literally on top of the court. So there's not a bad seat in that house. It's so cool.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've looking at what the Browns are trying to do. I understand the benefits of the dome. I've never understood why you wouldn't build something
There's
that
no
could be
reason to have an
365-day usage regardless of weather.
Also,
but really quick, one final point though for me. It just if we're in this universe where we're constantly re-engineering and reimagining things, why couldn't we find a way to protect the fans, give us a great viewable experience? Because nobody wants to go to a game in December, especially when you're a shitty team and you're not fighting for the playoffs. It's just awful weather. Something that makes the fan experience comfortable, but something that could be open and allowing elements in for just the players, just above the field. In my mind's eye, there has to be some kind of way to make that happen. I just wish they would have tried something like that would give you the benefit of home field advantage and open doors and maybe some snow, maybe some rain, but it wouldn't destroy the fan experience.
The issue. Right now, you have your current stadium ages, probably other than Green Bay, which has indoor concourses, ages probably, if not 2 to 3 times faster than any current stadium in the NFL because of where it sits. You're dealing with heavy winds, heavy humidity, also freezing temperatures, also very hot temperatures in the summer because the lake gets very hot.
Yeah.
Don't forget Lake Erie is the warmest of the Great Lakes in the summer. It gets into the 80s. People don't realize that, especially within the break wall. You're dealing with very, very warm temperatures. You could jump in there and feel like you're in a bath. I'm not saying in the deeper parts of the lake it's going to be warm, but in the shallow parts of the lake, inside the break wall, it is very warm. It brings a high amount of humidity, and then all of a sudden a quick dash of cold. So you're dealing with freezing temperatures still. Don't forget that stadium's requiring at least $10 million of maintenance every offseason from being outside, from having outdoor concourses. It ages very, very quickly. You go look at Progressive Field, which is just a mile south. You would have never known that stadium was 30 years old.
But to be fair, they've done major renovations every 8 years or so, right? Like they do a real big
Browns did
revamp.
a major renovation in 2014. That was a brand new stadium in 15. That's what's crazy. Cleveland Browns Stadium was a brand new stadium in 2015. Brand new. In the 15 season when it was all done, the renovations to the upper and lower deck, the 15 season was a brand new stadium. New
and they're decent renovations, right?
The stadium 10 years later needs another $500 billion facelift. Why are you going to go pump $800, $900 million into a stadium that gets used 10 times a year? You're losing out on concerts. You're losing out on everything. Why not?
Final Four.
And here's the issue too. People are like, well, dome the current stadium. Well, what people don't realize is you don't have the infrastructure to dome the current stadium. That stadium shrinks a couple inches a year. Osborne Engineering did a study on it.
Wait, what does it do?
It shrinks a couple inches into the ground per year.
It settles
on landfill. People are like, well, just move it over to Burke. Well, in order to have an emergency shutdown with the FAA requires 10 years of planning. 10 years. People also forget we are a border town. We sit on the border of Canada. We are 20 miles from the Canadian border in Canadian waters. 22 miles out is Canadian waters. 65 miles across is Canada. And go look. I'm not getting into politics here, but go look at Canada right now. They're having major issues as a country. Okay. Beefing up our northern border is a big problem in this country. Okay.
So real quick, you said 22 miles out and it's 65 miles to Canada.
65 miles for land. 22 miles are in Canadian waters.
So there's no international waters. It's a intercontinental Great Lake, but not an ocean. Yeah, there's a lot of minutiae to this. But yeah, it's sinking also. I was listening to Adam Carolla talking about rebuilding the Palisades and how they're overdoing. They want caissons, big drilled concrete steel rebar reinforced things going 60 feet down, 6 stories of building.
Like building a house, you're looking at $12 million for a 2,000 square foot house. Just LA's. I'm not getting into politics today, but I can't. We wind up talking
building. We're talking about building. Anyway, you're back to the border town. We're sinking 22 miles.
Again, what a lot of people don't know is too, Amazon Intel that whole chip factory was not supposed to go to Columbus. It was originally slated for Lorain County for the Lorain County Airport site. They asked for an emergency FAA shutdown. FAA wouldn't grant it to them. That's why it's in Columbus.
Yeah.
That's why their $20 billion project is going to Columbus, not Cleveland. However, that is why. You can't just shut down an airport in a border town. You can't do it anywhere. You need a runoff airport. Hopkins is the only runoff airport we have. We have to have a secondary runoff airport. We're a major city. So our secondary airport would be Cuyahoga, but we don't have the runway space to land military planes and to land large planes there if, God forbid, something happens to Hopkins. You need a runoff airport. Burke is your runoff at 450 acres. So that is the issue. I know all the studies whenever people get into this. Ideally as it is to redevelop Burke, I would love to redevelop Burke and put the stadium on Burke. If we had substantial planning, it would have been done in the last administration. Great. It would have been fantastic to do. But unfortunately, the city of Cleveland dropped the ball. The only other location to put that stadium was in Midtown. But how are you going to displace thousands of people in Midtown, a low-income area? It's not a good look. So good luck doing that. The other scenario was Opportunity Corridor, which the city should have offered up and didn't offer up, which is just south of the Cleveland Clinic's facility. That would have been a really cool area, but it would still taken the stadium out of downtown. It would have put it in uptown. Or the post office site, which is isolated downtown. But again, that stadium's right now, that's only like 50 acres. Stadium would sit on 36 acres alone. So again, it wasn't well planned out over there downtown. They didn't have their shit together.
Yeah.
So ideally, Brook Park was the way to go. It was either Brook Park or the Chagrin Highlands in Beechwood.
What do you say to the people that feel like, number one, we're losing the Browns for a second time because they're leaving downtown? Take that part aside because we kind of covered it. But the second part is the sticker shock of, oh my God, even just a couple $100 to go see a game feels pretty exorbitant. Now it's like, oh, PSLs and all of that.
Listen, when you're putting a crappy product on the field, it sucks. But again, I also think this stadium is cursed. I mean, Brian, I've been a season ticket holder since I moved home in 2014. My family had season tickets back in the 60s. I'm telling you this right now. Everything about that stadium I hate. I'm excited for the move to Brook Park. I really genuinely am. I'm excited for a fresh start. Just get out of there. Get out of there. Everything was done when the team came back in 99. They should have come back in 2000. Everything was half-assed about that stadium. Everything.
I wonder if we'll get Mike Polk Jr. to do like some sort of a seance and finalizing the factory of sadness and then press the button and demolish it.
Here's the thing. I'm not saying the Browns are going to land their franchise quarterback tomorrow. That's not what I'm saying. But let's just say they managed to have another good draft like they did with this one.
This one was good.
Next year, you're freeing up $3 million on the cap through Deshaun Watson's insurance policy per week he's out. So they'll recoup that on the cap next year. I think it's up to 48 to 51 million, if I'm not mistaken. You'll recoup that on the cap. You'll have money to spend in free agency. Conklin will be gone. Petone will likely retire. Joel's the one guy I hope that stays. Conklin can retire. Posick can retire. All those guys can. Teller's still decent. He's not what he was a few years ago. But again, you got to hold on the O-line, but it's fixable.
And no left tackle.
Championship level defense, plug in a quarterback, get some receivers, some alignment, you'll be fine. You're not going to do it all in one offseason. But again, if you have a draft like you did last year, you're going to be phenomenal.
And we got 2 first-round picks, thankfully.
And a high second-round pick. Probably be one of the top 3 pick in the second round. Mm-hmm. And they've got other draft picks they've maneuvered. So they are able to do some maneuvering in the draft. They'll be fine. If they have a good year next year, they'll start selling season tickets. I'm not going to hit the panic button. They'll be selling out the new stadium. Yeah. The NFL wants to see their product, they want to see Tottenham all over the United States. The Titans bar in this Titans new stadium wraps around the entire stadium. There's a bar on the second level that wraps around the entire stadium.
Hold on. It's one property? Is it, you said it's a U. It's not a full circle?
It might be a full circle. I haven't seen it myself. I'm from the Browns.
Okay, so the one coming.
It's the longest continuous bar in the United States.
I thought that was our college system.
So this will be the largest continuous bar in the United States. It wraps around the entire field.
That's very interesting.
I don't know if it's just a U. I don't know if it's all 100 on both. I don't know if it's 100 yards on both, 30, 40 yards in the end zone. I don't know how that works.
And that opens next year, you said?
2027.
Okay.
But the NFL, like, obviously there's no reason to put a dome in Buffalo. It's not a big enough city to host a Super Bowl. Also, it's isolated. You look at this, there's going to be, I would say in the next 15 years, you look at what stadiums will still be outdoors. You're going to have, I think Baltimore will always be playing outdoors. Doesn't have enough rooms to host. Plus Washington will get a Super Bowl, not Baltimore. Pittsburgh will still be outdoors. I'll be surprised if Cincinnati has a team in 15 years, if Mike Brown's still the owner. I'm being honest. Like, I'll be surprised if they have a team in 15 years.
I mean, Columbus is where it's at to move a little north, really.
It's either going to be that or they'll move to St. Louis, San Diego, Austin, Texas.
London.
I don't think London's ever getting a team. That was expressed by the NFL when we were there was, hey, we're okay. We're okay having multiple games in Europe. That's why we added a 17th game. That's why we're going to add an 18th game in the next few years too. I already think the NFL season's too long as it is. And also adding a second bye weekend puts the game.
Second bye week, that's how we're doing that? A second bye week?
So the Super Bowl would then move to President's Day weekend. That's their objective. Goodell told us that.
Okay. Well, linking up to give us a 3-day weekend after the Super Bowl has always made sense. Just make it a national celebration. It's like we're all in this together. Make a big celebration. What'd you say? President's Day it was?
Yeah. So he said the goal is to move it to President's Day weekend, the Super Bowl, to get that 18th game there, to get it to move there. And then you have your 3-day weekend.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in big in a favor.
18 weeks in a second best. You're now looking at 20-week NFL seasons.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. If the NFL wanted to do this really, and you wanted to do it strategically in order to not allow players to, what you do is no players allowed to play more than 17 games. So that means you have to be strategic about your quarterback. So if you're not a team like the Chiefs that, are the Bills that are going to clinch in week 14, week 15.
You get the backup QB against the Jets.
Yeah, against week 20. But it's a strategic play going like, oh, hey, we've got Baker Mayfield and Jacoby Brissett. I think we're going to start Brissett this week. Leave Mayfield out. Like type thing. It creates more strategy in there. Like, oh, we got to play a week to sit Myles Garrett.
All right. Well, we'll put a pin on that one.
That's one of the strategies because then the union doesn't bitch.
Yeah, and it messes up the all-time records. But I guess But
again, it's an 18-game season, but no players play more than 17 games.
If we did that way. By the way, speaking of a lot of football, make sure you tune in today at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Myself, Mike Barra, Jim Mitchell, and Ezrael Robinson. Strictly football, 6 p.m. Eastern time today.
Getting on the new stadium, though, I think a lot of people will be relieved once it comes. I do.
There is a lot of tension. There is a lot of frustration. It's all of it. It's
like, what are going to happen to the bars on West 6? I go, you don't think Bobby George is going to open up a barley house at the new stadium? let's be real. You don't think Bobby can afford to do that?
But what is going to be the shift of business from downtown to Brook Park, like the Brook Park Browns? All of the existing infrastructure up there. You're saying they're just going to hop on a train and roll out, but like those people weren't going to downtown anyway, so they're not really going to be coming from downtown, which is kind of the point you're getting at, which makes it easier, more streamlined. But that is going to make a really significant potential negative impact on downtown a little bit. Am I overstating this or understating?
No, I really don't think. You got to understand when they're hosting, you got to understand they're going to make up for it. When they have college football playoff games, okay, in Cleveland, those people are not all staying out in Brook Park at the Hampton Inn. They're going to be staying downtown. All the events will be downtown at the convention center. So only on game day will they be shifting over there. They're in town all weekend. So you got to understand that people are thinking so narrow-mindedly. Mm-hmm. You got to open up your mind. And this is like being a real estate developer. I've worked on a couple large projects in downtown Cleveland, and we're working on a lot more right now. There's a lot coming that a lot of people don't know about. When you're under NDA and can't talk about them, we just opened up a building across from Progressive Field, which is really the first unannounced project of the Ballpark Village called 1060 Bolivar.
1060 what?
1060 Bolivar. Bolivar.
Bolivar, yes.
Yep. So we just opened up a building, 184 units, $54 million project we just opened. Apartment complex. But there's more to come. David Blitzer and the Cavs are working on a Ballpark Village site. That's not announced yet. I already know about it. just in New York last week discussing it. That'll be coming soon, and you'll hear about late 2026, early 2027. You'll be hearing about Big Ballpark Village coming right over there off of East 9th and Bolivar, that area. So, and on the current Gateway East Garage. So there's a lot of projects downtown, but this infrastructure here, listen, is it the greatest thing ever that the Browns are leaving the lakefront? No. Would I prefer that they leave the lakefront and move somewhere else downtown? The best location for them would have been East 18th and Lakeside, and then giving the Haslams all the way to East 55th. But it would require years of eminent domain. That's what it required. Lots of purchases and taking Lakeside to St. Clair and doing that all.
Yeah, I just being the leaders, the air quote leaders of Cleveland, knowing that they just, I don't know, it just feels like they dropped the ball. Maybe that's not fair, but it just kind of feels like they had a chance to keep them. But regardless, it's going to be an upgrade. We know the current stadium is a dump. We all know that for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm eager to see what happens, but look, I'm also eager to see what happens on the field, Zach. We're going to be shifting to a new quarterback and shifting gears to Shadeur Sanders. What do we make of his first opportunity, and what do we make specifically, starting with, is it normal that Kevin Stefanski didn't give him a single snap with a single offensive starter?
Go read Luke McCown's tweet yesterday. Luke McCown tweeted it. Mm-hmm. Go read, and you'll have your answer.
And so he says that's just normal.
He said it's normal for a backup rookie quarterback not to be getting reps with the first team. There aren't that many reps during the week. So the first team QB gets all of them. It is what it is. Joe Flacco got them, and then Dillon Gabriel got them when he got named the starter.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. Listen, I think Shedeur was put into a bad situation last week. Also, there were 2 penalties on the last drive that weren't called, and then the offsides on the final play, which was
what two penalties? You're saying that
there was pass interference on one of the plays. You had the drop ball. I mean, Shedeur sits in the pocket. He's like a statue in the pocket, and then all of a sudden he started rolling out.
Backward. He rolls backward.
His issue is he doesn't move well in the pocket. That was what his issue
He has a good spin move. I saw him use the O button.
Too many sacks.
He's got a good spin move, but yeah, I mean,
the Browns' offensive line and the receivers aren't doing him any favors. And Stefanski, they could have run the ball on the last drive. I don't know why Tommy Rees didn't run the ball. Yeah. They had timeouts. You had 2 timeouts, and you're sitting there and putting them in passing situations. Listen, I think going in against the Raiders with a crappy defense this week puts them in a situation to succeed, a better situation to succeed, and you can game plan for them. I don't think Dillon Gabriel, I was wrong about Gabriel. I thought Gabriel would be a competent backup in this league, especially he did well against the Vikings when Stefanski was able to drop him up a nice game plan. I think he'd be an adequate backup maybe with the right team. But I don't think the Browns are doing a quarterback any favors around. Do I think Shedeur's the answer? Probably not, but I don't know.
He almost had the game-tying touchdown. I mean, it was
it was there. It was almost there. I mean,
it was a very good play to get it there.
I'd like to see what he can do this week against the Raiders if they can, contain Max Crosby, which most teams can't.
Yeah,
he'll be okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some. If you go by the eye test alone, Shedeur looks. Now, he might not be comfortable in the pocket per se, and you can work on some of that pocket presence. He hasn't been a top-tier quarterback for all that long. He's still learning. He's a raw project. The goal is to draft somebody with some skills and develop them into something better. That's what the good teams do. You bring them into a culture that succeeds. But look, Dillon Gabriel we were winning that game. When you get a turnover, we're talking about Bubba Ventrone and the special teams, you get the kickoff return because of that wind, grab the punt. We're first and goal at the 5. You got to punch it in. You know, being in these games when you can't get 7 and you end up for 3, it's going to hurt you in the fourth quarter. It always happens to the Browns. It was the most uncomfortable lead, but we were leading. We were kind of doing enough to get by. The Ravens aren't the Ravens of old. They were beatable.
You know what it looks like? And I got to be honest with you. I think Lamar Jackson's losing a step.
Because that happens fast.
Every week he just doesn't look like Lamar anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying, maybe it's just coming off the injury, but he doesn't look the same as he did in years past. He doesn't look as dangerous running the football.
Right.
I mean, he's got a great arm, and he's improved his arm every year since coming into the league. Every year.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe as he losing, he takes a lot of hits.
And he's not a large guy,
No, I mean, he's a hell of a quarterback.
Daniels, all these little quarterbacks, you get hit a couple of times, and
the shelf life for these guys, for these scramblers who they get rocked. I mean, you don't have the size of Josh Allen or Justin Herbert. I mean, look at Jaden Daniels. Like you said, he's a twig. He's like Robert Griffin in third.
Yeah.
He's not big. Cam Newton was big, but even Cam Newton got hit a lot. These guys take a lot of hits. Like you look at Baker Mayfield. Baker's just tough as nails.
Yeah.
He's a small guy, but he is tough. And I'll say it like, I'm not a Baker apologist. Like, listen, I love Baker when he was at the Browns. I think he needed to get a fresh start somewhere else. Because look, he sucked in Carolina. He needed to get his head on straight for a year, and that's what it took. And listen, I love everything Baker does in Tampa. Do I think Baker's a Super Bowl winning quarterback? I've been coming on the show for 7 years, 8 years saying this now. He's not a Super Bowl quarterback. And I'm still going to say
I think he is. I think he can get it done on a good team. Is he going to be the lone Hercules that the Chiefs don't get it done without the referees, by the way.
He's not your Mahomes, not your Josh Allen. And Josh Allen hasn't made a Super Bowl. But again, he's not in that category. He's in that second tier. He's not your Matt Stafford. I think in order for him to get to a Super Bowl, he has to be on a perfect football team. This isn't the days back in the day where Trent Dilfer or Cordell Stewart we're going to get you to a Super Bowl, or even Matt Hasselbeck. The league is different now. I just don't believe it. I think he can win a playoff game here and there. I think he is Bernie Kosar. He's a Bernie Kosar type. But he's not going to get to the Super Bowl. He's not elite enough. He's not the John Elway. He's not the Brett Favre. He is that second tier of quarterback, which is good. And again, as much as I hate the Deshaun Watson trade now, the Browns were never going to win that Super Bowl and beat Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson in the playoffs with Baker Mayfield, which is why they made the move. So, again, when we made it, it was Super Bowl or bust, and we hit the bust so badly.
Well, I will agree to disagree with you on that. We don't need to belabor the point, because I think prime Nick Chubb and Myles Garrett, and we had things going, and Baker's serviceable. Baker's good. Baker was the MVP leading candidate through 5-6 games this year. He's missing his 2 wide receivers. He looks mortal. He's lost some tough games. I get it. But
I don't think
it needed a perfect team. I just think he needs a very good team around him. I think he can engineer drive.
Very good team that lost to the Chiefs in the playoffs.
The defense was shit, and the special teams were shit. They just were. They were not good. I mean,
Again, he just does it. He's a very good quarterback. Don't get me wrong. But it is not easy to win a Super Bowl in this league. He just couldn't go toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes. It was that simple.
All right. Well, let's
get into the Bernie stuff. Boy, do I have an interesting story about this.
Yeah, let me play an update on Bernie Kosar, shifting gears here, because we do the Baker back and forth all the time. But look, I think what you're saying we do agree. You generally root for the guy. He's fun to watch. He's tough as nails. He makes some good throws. Yes, some whatever, but he's fun he makes the games fun. I mean, those years were fun. At least healthy Baker years were fun. You mentioned Bernie Kosar. Let's get his update. He says 15 hours post liver transplant, and I'm already ready to attack the day. Feeling blessed, humbled, and beyond grateful for all your thoughts and prayers. Let's get his words.
Great morning here at University Hospital. 15 hours out from liver transplant surgery, and to be sitting here, all things considered, albeit you can see all the wires and tubes and stuff in me, so you can see why texting and calling is hard, partially why I'm doing some of these videos.
And that's a good point too. Partially, I can't respond to you, so I'm going to make a couple update videos.
I'm really excited to be attacking the first day of the rest of my life with the great gifts that I was given yesterday. And we talked about P&P yesterday, and that's not what us old men do in the middle of the night, but P&P, preparation and planning. We talked about that, and I was planned and prepared for what had happened yesterday, and I'm planned and prepared for what's going on today. So let's keep up with our preparation and planning to get that great success. And remember today, all the people, families, and communities we touch, we can make such a winning, positive difference. You matter.
Sounds pretty good for being on a ton of morphine right there.
A ton of morphine.
I have such a crazy story from this weekend I was telling you about this morning.
Let's hear it.
And Brian, if you could post a link to to Bryce's GoFundMe too, it'd be really.
Do you have it on your X? Can you show it? I want to make sure I get the
I have
right
it on my
one.
X, Brian. I can send it to you on Instagram.
Send it. Well, I'm logged into the New American Media Instagram. If you can send it to that one, I should be able to pull it up. But yes, the story. Yeah, and that was my main concern. Is very interested in the Give Send Go or the GoFundMe campaign, helping out Bernie Kosar, but definitely making sure that we have the right account link. There's so many scammers.
It's the one that's raising all
I'm
of us.
feeling good. It's ready to enjoy the rest of the week and the rest of our lives. You matter.
Here's what's crazy. So I get a call Sunday about an hour before kickoff, and my friend Devin Dunlap calls me. She calls me, or she texts me. She goes, "You free?" And I was like, "With the game," but like, yeah, sure, I'll call her back. So I go, "Devin, what's up?" And she goes, "Weird request." And I go, "Okay." I'm like, "What is it?" And she goes, "You have a good relationship with the Browns, don't you?" And I said, "Yes, very good relationship with the Browns." So she goes, "Okay, I've got a weird request. We're sitting here in the hospital at the Cleveland Clinic, but I'm actually on my way to the game in a few minutes. My cousin Bryce, 21 years old, unexpectedly passed away over the weekend." I said, "Okay." She goes, "Well, match for Bernie Kosar, and his liver's going to Bernie tomorrow. Is there anyone you can contact from the Browns?" And I said, "What do you guys want from Bernie?" They're like, "We just want an opportunity to meet him, after he's all recovered." And I was like, "Done." Called the Browns yesterday, set it up. I was like, "Hey, called my guy at the Browns." I said, "Austin, it's a weird request." He goes, "What is it?" And I said, "You're never going to realize what a small world it is." So I told him, he goes, "Yeah, give me her number. I'll send it over to Alumni Relations. We'll get her in touch when Bernie's better." So I was like, "Okay, this is her first cousin that passed away, but her first cousin's the one who family donated the liver to Bernie Kosar. 21 years old. So if anybody can find in their heart, to donate to Bryce's GoFundMe page, if you can find the right one, be greatly appreciative. It's already raised a fair amount of money, but it's done by the family. Bernie has a GoFundMe too. Please donate what you can to each.
Yeah, this is the one I just kind of did a quick search, and
and there's one for Bryce to pay for his medical expenses for his funeral.
Yeah, this one is the Bernie Kosar one that Jay Crawford shared. I didn't see the correct one from you, but if like I said, if you can send it to me, I will share it out on all the locations. Phil Mickelson, the top donation, $20,000. Phil Mickelson, look at that. Yeah, Bernie's just a legend in Cleveland.
So this is Bryce's right here. Brian, I'm going to text this to you. I can put this. Brian, can I place this in the chat?
Yeah, send it in the private chat.
I sent it in the private chat. This is the correct one.
Perfect. Let me share this one on X. Is it sharing on the screen? Did I?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
If anyone can find a way to donate, it'd be great. I still have to make my donation, but I just saw this, so I was like, okay, absolutely, would love to get it out to anybody, who's able to.
No, thank you for that. I'm going to go ahead and send this out there. But great updates from Bernie Kosar's front. Back to the current Browns. Talk about Myles Garrett. We got a lot to be salty
about. Having historically the greatest season of all time for a defensive player. I mean, you're going to be watching this in 30 years, like how you go and watch old Lawrence Taylor ripping down the quarterback, or Reggie White. And this is just on, or even, Ray Lewis wasn't a sacker. This is a great middle linebacker. But you're gonna go back and witness this, the greatest season a pass rusher's ever had. Better than Michael Strahan, better than TJ Watt, better than Reggie White, better than Lawrence Taylor. And the Browns are 2-8 to show for it. In the Browns defense, you have Carson Schlesinger, who's arguably an all-pro, Devin Bush, Ronnie Hickman, Grant Delpit. Tyson Campbell, since the trade, has been phenomenal for the Browns. What's crazy is Denzel Ward has not been good.
Yeah.
I mean, Denzel's having his worst season of all time, and Denzel's been an all-pro multiple times. I mean, he's been incredible. But if you look at the Browns, Alex Wright, Isaiah McGuire, Cam Thomas, all these guys have been incredible. Malik Collins, Shelby Harris, Mason Graham. Their defense is phenomenal. They're in the backfield every play. They're scoring points every week. It's every week. Hey, if the offense can just not turn the ball over, we'll win. or the special teams gives them a punt and a kick return touchdown.
Yeah, that Jets game was so winnable. About Myles Garrett, yes, it seems like he's evolving into his final form. Like you never know when Myles is done improving, but he still is. I think some of that, obviously because he's playing on a better team, but specifically, how much do you think Mason Graham's involvement has helped take a little bit of the edge off?
Mason Graham has been phenomenal the last few weeks. I mean, I always read the Pro Football Focus grades. He's now, I think, the 38th out of 117 or 119 eligible defensive tackles.
Seems a little low, but
it's not bad at all. Don't forget, he was in the 70s a few weeks ago. He's been very good. Campbell's been very good, though, in the defensive backfield. Hickman's like the 4th overall safety out of like 79. I mean, I could read their grades right now. If I look at this defensively, Tyson Campbell's 44th of 108 for defensive backs. When we got him, he was like 95th of 108. Ronnie Hickman's the 7th of 93 overall safeties. Graham Talbot's 23rd of 93rd. Schlesinger's 34th of 81. Devin Bush is 6th of 81. Mason Graham's 37th of 1.
Devin Bush is 6?
6. He's having an unbelievable season. Mason Graham is 37th of 124. Malik Collins is 11th of 124. Shelby Harris is 13th of 124. Isaiah McGuire is 42nd of 120. Cam Thomas is 31st of 120. Alex Wright is 8th of 120. Myles Garrett, 1 of 120.
Alex Wright is 8?
8.
They're all just balling.
So is Cam Thomas. So is Isaiah McGuire. They all are. That's what I'm saying. Like the whole defense.
And Mike Hall is back now.
And the only one that isn't performing is Denzel Ward, 95th of 108.
Yeah, okay. Well, not entirely sure why, but maybe he's lost his fastball. Maybe he's just who knows? He can bounce back. We've seen him crushing it. But yeah, we are kind of squandering a historic season by not. If we just had competent special teams and defense, it really sort of reminds me of the Baker Mayfield situation. An offense, I meant to say, because if he just had competent special teams in that playoff run and competent defense, who knows where we could have been? It's just feast or famine, like the Indians, the Guardians of today. They got pitching. Where's the hitting? Where are the runs in the 90s and 2000s? Hitting. Where's the pitching?
They couldn't hit for their lives, and baseball is incredibly boring because of it. And shifting to the Indians, Guardians, whatever the hell you want to call them real quickly, because I got about 10 minutes left. Congratulations to Stephen Vogt. Congratulations to Jose Ramirez. Congratulations to Stephen Kwan. Stephen's bat took a dive at the end of the year, but, I mean, Stephen Vogt, by the way, that team had no business being in the playoffs. They sold at the deadline. Mm-hmm. Your number 4 starter, Luis Ortiz, is banned for life. Your all-star closer, who now makes me wonder, was he throwing games in the playoffs last year?
Yankees, right? Did he cost us the Yankees?
It makes me cringe because we could have gotten a haul for Emmanuel Clase. Look what Mason Miller sold for from the whatever A's, Sacramento, Las Vegas, Oakland A's, to the San Diego Padres. They received the number 3 prospect in baseball for him. For a closer. Clase would have commanded that from the Dodgers. Pathetic. I hope these two rot in jail for what they did. Fucking idiots.
They're facing what? 65 years for wire fraud?
$5,000, $12,000. I mean,
but this is what we know so far. Peel the layers of the onion back. This might be a little deeper, and it's going to the Lakers now. It's going to Chauncey Billups. It's all over. This is one layer of the onion. This is going to be rotten at the core. It's going to be bad, I think.
Then you have the University of New Orleans point shaving scandal. This is nuts. It really is nuts when you look at it. So, and again, you're totally right when you say that. But the fact that the Cleveland was able to go to the playoffs and win the division, watch an epic Detroit collapse. After nothing.
But we were also a part of that epic Detroit. Like we were beating them down when we needed to. It's not like that just they fumbled. We had to battle them head to head, and we did enough to get it done. Then they had the final laugh as they advanced, I suppose. But
you know what? Listen, we didn't have any business being there. We already gotten crushed by Seattle in the second round in the LDS. Like, it is what it is. I'm proud of them. It was a great season. But when they got to the playoffs, I go, I'm not going to be sad when they lose, because whatever they make, like last year was genuinely sad, because like last year they were a genuinely good baseball team who won 97 games. They were very good last year. Okay. This year, I had no expectations, especially after Old Classy. But I was going almost every game in September. It was fun. They were winning every night.
15.5 back and you win the division. That's give me the opposite of the pro and the con, the opposing viewpoint. I said this is the year you should have given Jose Ramirez the lifetime achievement MVP, kind of like Steve Nash got one. They were screwing LeBron out of a few.
LeBron got screwed out of like
his career.
MVPs.
What's that?
LeBron got screwed out of like 6 or 7 MVPs.
Yeah, and so, see, Jordan had this and that. It's like you don't even compare it. LeBron was clearly for 10 years, and he got 2. But I thought maybe Jose Ramirez could have got a lifetime achievement award because we came back from 15.5. He's clearly the most valuable player to his team in all of baseball. Without Jose, this team is what, a number 1, number 2 pick, like one of the worst in the league. What's the opposition of that? Was Judge that good? Was Cal Raleigh that much better?
That good. And Cal Raleigh, they were that good. You know,
but
I mean, the thing is, we had no offense. I mean, they were that good. It just is what it is. Jose was the most valuable to his team, though. In the league, Jose was the most valuable to his team. Aaron Judge was the most valuable player, hands down. It's not even close. Okay, the guy, if he managed to stay healthy, he wasn't even healthy all year. If he managed to stay healthy, he could win 6 or 7 MVPs. He's that good. Whether you hate the Yankees or not, just appreciate Aaron Judge. He's an anomaly. And just go put him back in the 90s. The guy would have been hitting 80 home runs a year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right. So you're talking off the ledge on that. And things are looking up for the Tribe. I don't know if they're going to be spending anything. I don't know if there's any players you got your eye on, or Josh Naylor just re-signed. He signed, what, 5 years with the Mariners?
5 years, roughly 90 million, 100 million. Good for him. I'm very happy for Josh. I mean, he was great. Seattle's a great fit for him. Cleveland needs to go out and spend some money in free agency this winter. They do. They have $54 to $70 million coming off the books.
Wow.
Spend it.
Yeah, protect Jose in the lineup a little bit. Give Steven
Kwan. Cody Bellinger to a large 1-year deal. Pete Alonso to a large 1-year deal. Because the impending lockout in 2027, go spend $100 million this offseason on 1-year deals.
That's like the Edwin Encarnacion approach, like 1 year.
Well, they signed Edwin Encarnacion on a 3-year deal when they did it. But they can go and trade for Brendan Donovan. I heard they're already in trade discussions for Brendan Donovan for the Cardinals. You know, go out and fix your holes. You're not far away from competing. Your starting pitching is that good.
Mm-hmm.
It is that good.
Yeah, you give Shane Bieber away. Did we get enough back for Bieber? I felt like we gave him away.
Bieber is decent. He helped Toronto get to Game 7 in the World Series. Was he phenomenal? No. But don't forget, he's coming off of basically 2 years of not playing. He was pretty damn good for that. And here's the other thing, too. I expect Bieber, if he can stay healthy this year, to maybe get back to Cy Young form. He looked good. Did he look like himself? Partially. It also takes a while to get back. But Cal Stevens, who they got in the trade, is one of those micro prospects, they called him. Just like shot up the ladder. Top 100 prospect. Could be phenomenal in Cleveland. You get 6-7 years of control of him.
Oh, okay. Well, they've been good at making these strategic moves for the past 40 years.
Cooper could have opted out after the year anyway. Our rotation, with Parker Messick, these guys, like Cleveland's rotation, their bullpen can be very, very strong next year. Add 2 or 3 bats to that lineup, you could be a 100-win baseball team.
Okay. Well, I'm here for that. That sounds good to me. Zach, I would say we should probably do a full NBA overview Cavs thing.
We'll do that another time. I'm available like basically most of next week. I don't have a crazy week.
Maybe once. Maybe we could do a morning, maybe a Monday or two. What are we on?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Love to do that with you guys.
Yeah, let's get a quick hit on the Buckeyes first, and then a couple Cavs things.
The Buckeyes are a well-oiled machine. It all comes down to, and this is the honest truth. Last year after Ohio State lost to Michigan, I was dumbfounded, and I said, I don't give a shit if they win the national championship. I'm that pissed off. However,
they won you back. They won you.
Happy they won me back.
They won you back.
Okay.
Just when you thought you were out, they suck you back in.
Suck you back in, and I feel like Ryan Day, by winning, because Ryan Day always lost the big games. Could never beat the top 5 opponents. They annihilated everyone in the college football playoff last year.
They went smash on everybody.
Which makes the Michigan loss that much more baffling. This year, if this team loses to Michigan, I just don't know what to say. You have the best quarterback in the country in Julian Sayin. He and Fernando Mendoza are the 2 best quarterbacks in the country. Don't at me on that one. They're the best. It's hands down. Those 2 are interchangeable, and Sayin's just insanely accurate. Okay. You have Jeremiah Smith, and you have Carnell Tate. You even have Brandon Innes too. You have two of the three top receivers in the country, Jordan Tyson being the third.
Are we concerned about their injuries? Tate?
I think he'll be fine. You sit him against Rutgers next week, bring him back from Michigan.
Okay.
You have Max Clares, projected second-round pick in the draft. Your offensive line's phenomenal. Your defense, Arvell Reese, the projected top 3 pick in the NFL draft. Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs. You have 3 guys in there. You have like
all-star team.
You literally have 6 or 7 guys that will be first-round picks in the starting defense right now in the next 2 years. It is nuts. They're a well-oiled machine. They're well coached. If this team moves to Michigan without their starting running back, I don't know what to tell you. Like, but here's the thing too. Ohio State could also go into this and go, "Who gives a shit? Let's just bet." They're not going to, but because the game means too much. But essentially, it is just a regular season football game.
Actually, where is it? Is it in the Big West?
It doesn't mean as much like it used to. If you go 11-0 and you lose to Michigan, you're 11-1. You're still going to the college football playoff.
Wouldn't you still be the 1 seed? Like, who would you put? Even
Indiana would be. But again,
maybe.
at that point, who cares? You're going in there knowing you're the best team. You could bench your guys and say, like, listen, we don't even care about playing the Big Ten title game. We're not going to go. We're still going to make the college football playoff. Let Indiana go and pulverize someone else. Let them go pulverize USC or Michigan in the Big Ten title game.
Imagine starting all your backups in the Big Ten title game because it doesn't matter. It's a different landscape. I've always advocated get a few more teams in, but then it really does take away from the importance of the regular season. I knew it was going to happen, but it's changed my viewing habits because every week was like, oh shit, you're just like one stumble from Florida, one stumble from Alabama. Now it's like, we're all going to stumble. We're not, whatever. 1, 2 lost teams. We'll just get in and then we'll see how it goes. Best of 4.
Now you know that Ohio State, if we played Alabama, I bet you they win by 2 or 3 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
The only team that scares me out of the SEC is Georgia. I think Alabama's very good. I think Ty Simpson is, again, another unbelievable quarterback. Ty Simpson's phenomenal too. I like John Mateer at Oklahoma. But the guys going into this season, Cade Klubnik stinks. Garrett Nussmeier has been benched.
Remember Drew Aller? That was all the hype.
Drew Aller, those were the top 3 quarterbacks.
He wasn't good before the injury. That was like the Deshaun. He wasn't good before the injury.
So the hype, it's like you go.
He's got some prototypical size, but
typical size my ass. Like he still wasn't good.
Exactly.
I watched him last year in the playoff game against Notre Dame. I was like, this is a projected top 3 pick.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I'm rooting for Will Howard. They're starting Mason Graham right now. I think
Mason Rudolph. Mason Graham was starting at quarterback. He'd probably get the same results as the current Browns starting quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm. No, that's true.
Mason Graham was.
No, but it's so unfair that feast or famine. We love the Buckeyes and the Browns. Buckeyes are just like the best of the best almost all the time.
It's boring.
And the Browns just can barely ever get out of their own way.
There hasn't been a game this season other than the Texas game that was even remotely watchable for Ohio State in the fourth quarter. Like they have not played their starters in the fourth quarter all season. The only game was Texas.
That first game of the year, you don't really even. I mean, Julian Sayan's training wheels were really on.
And they didn't let him open up the playbook. If they would have let him open up the playbook, I bet you Ohio State would have won by 4 touchdowns. If we played Texas now, I bet you with that defense, everything, Arch Manning, it's not any good right now.
Yeah, bring it. There's nobody I'm like shaking.
There's no team in the country that scares me other than Indiana, and I still think Ohio State has an advantage.
Agreed. And we just have to take care of our own business. Final thoughts on it.
Georgia's good too. Georgia's damn good too. Don't let me. And Notre Dame's very good too, but I think Georgia. And
when I say teams don't scare me, I'm not calling them trash.
Texas A&M's very good.
Roll them by 50.
They don't scare me.
No,
Georgia's the only team. Georgia and Indiana are the only 2 teams in the country that and Michigan too, just because
history. Agreed. Real quick, because I want to elaborate on the Cavs at a future time. Maybe next week we can do a deep dive into the NBA and stuff. But tell us about where the Cavs are at, what we're looking at. I mean, it's
a long regular season. It's a long regular season. They're getting guys healthy. Max Strus will get healthy. Darius Garland will get healthy. Jalen Tyson, just spoke to him on Sunday. He has the concussion. They're slow walking these guys. There's no reason. They don't need to win 64 games this year. There just isn't a reason to do it. Win 57. It's fine. You get where you need to be. Get healthy. Win 54. Get healthy. Get healthy for the playoffs. Indiana's 1-13.
Well, take Halliburton off the team, obviously.
And Myles Turner.
Yeah.
But I'm saying they are bad.
Bad. Yeah, I was there at the watch game for Game 7. My foster kid from LA flew in. He graduated college or high school, and we drove up to Indianapolis, and we were at the arena for the watch party. It was awesome. And
I kept saying
there was that arena when Halliburton got injured. I mean, I've rarely felt like such a.
That was the Pacers' one chance to ever win a title because
20,000 people collectively going, "Oh God,
on a historic run. They'll never get there again." I'll be the first one to say it. It's like it was a historic run, and that was their chance.
That was
Oklahoma City, whether they won or lost last year, they'll be back 5 more times in the next 5-6 years. They're that good.
Oof. So that shows you the blueprint how to relaunch a franchise.
Again, Sam Presti's out of this world when it comes to rebuilding a team. He took it down to the studs twice and rebuilt it. He's done a hell of a job. I give the same credit, though, to Kobe Altman. After LeBron left, that could have been an insanely long rebuild. Don't forget, the 4 years LeBron was gone the first time, they sucked. Yeah. Okay, they had one promising player, and it was Kyrie Irving the whole time. Okay, in 4 years, one promising player. Deion Waiters was bad. Anthony Bennett was bad. You go this, and don't forget the Cavs were not doing this with the number 1 overall pick. Colin Sexton wasn't a great player, but he turned Colin Sexton to Donovan Mitchell. The trade they traded Larry frickin' Nance for Lauri Markkanen in a 3-way trade. Lauri Markkanen helped them land, and Lauri Markkanen was essentially an all-star with the Cavs. He's an all-star the next year with Utah.
He's still good, right?
Helped him land a superstar. So that's my point. You drafted Darius Garland, top 5 pick. Garland shot up out of nowhere off the draft boards. Evan Mobley fell into their laps at number 3. I mean, they could have been stuck with Jalen Green. They got very lucky. But also at the same time, Kobe did a hell of a job with the roster maneuvering. And I know, the NBA is at one sport where you really you watch LeBron. It took him years to get over the hump. He eventually did it with Miami and came back and did it. It's not easy. This could be the Cavs' year. It could be. I don't know. We need to see how this season progresses, but you have to be healthy for the playoffs. If Darius was healthy last year in the playoffs, I think it would have had a totally different effect. You watch how much better this team is with a healthy Darius Garland than they are without him. Don't tell me right now that they're a better team without Darius. You can't.
No, of course not.
And in the playoffs, they collapsed without him. They did against Indiana. They didn't need him for the Miami series. If you want to beat New York, you want to go beat the teams that are at the top, Milwaukee, you want to go beat those teams, you need a healthy Darius Garland. Let him get healthy. Let him take his time. The Cavs did it in 16 with Kyrie Irving in his foot. Don't forget, it's a very similar situation. Cavs like Kyrie get healthy. They started off the season with Mo Williams as starting point guard. Mo was phenomenal. They didn't miss a beat without Kyrie at the beginning, but they wouldn't have won the championship without Kyrie Irving. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the clowns. He was the real MVP. It's like, yes, he hit the shot, and yes, he's fantastic. But come on, LeBron led all teams in all the major categories. Let's not get a little crazy here with
exactly. So,
but it was incredible. He played lights out. It was phenomenal.
Exactly.
So no disrespect to Kyrie.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Kyrie, look at year 1 when Kyrie got hurt in the finals, 15. The fact that they even won 2 games that series because Dellavedova was lights out with LeBron. They were hitting stuff. But, they just ran out of gas. They were playing with an 8-man lineup. They ran out of gas. That's why they lost. If they were healthy in 15, they would have beat the Warriors.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's put a pin in this for now, and maybe next week, maybe Tuesday, maybe at roughly this time.
I'll be around next week. So
let's see
even later this week to get on. Tomorrow's my only insane day where I cannot do it. Thursday, Friday could possibly work. So we'll be in touch, Brian.
Yeah, because I want to dig into what the Cavs did in the offseason to bolster the rest of their lineup, because we're talking about the starters and DG, but getting length on the wings and figuring out why we lost to the Knicks, why we lost to the Pacers. Where's the toughness? Where's the length? Where's the two-way players that we need? They've really improved the roster, and we'll get into the minutia of that next time. But for now, Zach, thank you for joining us. Like Marion said, where's that quote? Oh, wow, that is an amazing story, Zach, about the Bernie Kosar thing. Prayers
so if you donate to both of their GoFundMes, it'd be great. I plan on making a donation later today.
Excellent. And we share that out on our X feed at @TheUnhappyHour_. Zach, do you have an X that you share out, or you're good on that?
I don't really tweet that much anymore.
Okay, well, that's good.
I still follow. I'm on X every day. I stopped tweeting a couple of years ago. My opinion.
You don't miss it. All it did was get me into trouble. That's fair. That's fair. But yes, we share that out on X. Donate to the family who lost their loved one tragically, but it's giving Bernie Kosar a second chance. Show some appreciation. Zach, we appreciate you joining us for today. Until next time.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes. Same to you, good sir. To be continued. All right. There goes Zak Baris, everybody. Thank you for joining us here on the Unhappy Hour. Yes, Marion, prayers for all. Prayers for all indeed. We're going to hit a reboot here, a relaunch. Get ready because in about 52 minutes, the TDAM Daily Show will be here. We're going to be a bunch of raccoons rifling through the rubbish that we call the news. And we're going to try to figure out what is what. We're going to separate fake news from fact. So on behalf of everybody out there in the TNAM universe, I appreciate you. I love you. And we'll talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Peace.
Hi, this is Eric Metcalf, and you're watching Unhappy Hour.